Guys, how are you doing? In this video we're going to have a little work on my old TRX-4. As I said in the previous videos, all the servos have gone faulty. They're all, well, this one's glitchy. These two have stopped working altogether. So Ian has kindly lent me a couple of these servos. The Bluebird BMS373 MG micro servo. And pretty much they're supposed to fit straight in there, almost. I think you've got to file a little bit down on the mounts, but they're supposed to go just straight in. They've got the same splines, everything, and they're metal geared, so hopefully they're going to be more reliable, and they're also a lot cheaper. So let's get them fitted. I've never taken these servos out before, so you have to bear with me. I'll tell you what guys, something that I wouldn't mind experimenting with is putting the battery tray on the side here. Not sure if I can use this battery tray or not. I mean, it's about the same length as these side seals. That's going to be a future project. But I do want to get the centre of gravity down more. Up here, it's just sitting way too high. Alright, so size-wise, slight difference. I mean, these stick out a little bit taller. That shouldn't be an issue. The mount is a little bit wider here, but there's no reason why we can't file that off. We just need to trim a little bit off of here. Doesn't need much. Perfect. So it does come with horns and stuff, but because on here there's no end point adjustment, so it has to be like a servo saver on there. Otherwise, what's going to happen is it's going to reach maximum travel. It's just going to strain the servo. So that's really a downside of this radio. If I was to upgrade and fit this radio to it, I could actually set endpoints to all the shift servos so they're not under load all the time. I may well do that, you know. So yeah, the same as the other one. It just needs a tiny little bit just trimming off of here. Right, so I guess we can now turn him on and see if it works. And it doesn't. What's going on? Oh guys, I'm confuzzled now. Why are these servos not working? Alright guys, so the easiest way to find out when a component's faulty is to do a process of elimination. Try it with all different things, and then that way you know which components work. So I've got a different receiver here and I've plugged it in with a separate battery pack. And it's all bound up to this radio here. And I've got a servo here that I know that works. And I can prove that if I plug that into port 1. Hold on, it would help if I plugged it in the right way around. Right, so that works. So we know the receiver's good, we know the battery's good, we know the radio's good. Well, for channel 1 at least. So now at least we can check out some servos. So these are the servos that come out of it. Channel 1. I'm doing the steering there, by the way. I know you can't see it on the camera. Alright, so that servo dead. So we know that servo's had it. Next servo, same, dead. And just to back it up again, we'll just get this servo here that we know that works. Plug it into number 1. That's working. Right. So now we know that all this lot works. And now, if I pull out one of these servos here, one of the new ones, and plug that into channel 1. Doesn't work. That is strange. What? Brand new servo and it doesn't work. Did I do them up too tight? Ah, okay, now it works. Ah, okay. So by the looks of it, maybe I don't know, maybe I over-tightened them. Ah, yeah, it's locking up as I'm doing that up. I don't know why that is actually, but maybe I've got to find a screw with a smaller head, because I think the head is actually pushing up against the case slightly. Alright, so I found these stainless steel screws here. They've actually got a smaller head, so they're not pushing on the side of the servo case. But the trouble is with these, they fall straight through the hole what's in the servo. So I've got these plastic washers here, but I've had to cut the edges off just so that it clears the actual case. I'll screw that on and I can show you what's going on. Note to self, stainless steel screws are not magnetic. Alright, so as you can see here, I've got one washer here, plastic washer that I've cut in half. I'll just cut the edge off so that it can fit around the servo. I've left it loose for now, so I'm going to turn it on and do it up gradually to make sure that I'm not pinching the case. Then this one here, there's not much room. So there's barely any washer left, just a little bit on the thing. But you do have to use a washer, guys, because otherwise that screw head's going to fall straight through the servo. So pretty much all I'm doing, I've got a plastic washer here. I think it's probably a shock piston, to be honest. Just getting a pair of side cutters and just cutting off that half there. So now when we screw that on there, it's not actually pushing against the side of the servo case. Alright, got them all loosely in there now, but what I'm going to do is just gently just sit these servo savers on top, just so you guys can see the servos move. If I flick this switch, right, they're working. So pretty much what I've got to do is just keep doing these up, making sure that they still move. It is actually, if you do it up tight, you can hear it straining. It's probably worth doing it up bit by bit, not to over tighten it. So we now need to centre these up. I'm not sure what the proper way of doing it is, but I think we just put it in the middle. So it's got to go more that way. Just going to get it so it gives the same travel both ways roughly, or as close as we can get it anyway. Spline. Right, that's about as close as it's going to get. These servos are constantly under strain. Look at that, it's putting a lot of strain on there, guys. That's not good. Diff locked, diff open. I'm not liking how that's straining, guys. I'm not liking that one bit, and you can't adjust the travel on the radio. I think eventually, guys, I'm going to go over to this where I can adjust the endpoints. I mean, it's not like it's under constant strain. Well, I don't know what, guys. I think I might try and mount this on the side here now. That's really going to get the centre of gravity down. I mean, I can't really do a before and after because I've got it all in bits now, but I might do this same mod on the other one. We'll see. So I can just drill this out, screw it straight to the side. That's going to replace this whole thing here. This bit's broken anyway. So I can screw that to the side like that. I can probably make up some sort of a metal brace later on. That'll go across the bottom here. And maybe come up the side here just to give it, stop it sort of flexing like that. And I can do the same on this side. And this bottom bit, I'm just going to cut this out. And I can probably just glue a piece of plastic in there to cover it up. Or maybe just leave a hole. If I'm using hard case, it should be fine. But sometimes I do run soft case lipos. So maybe I should put something in there. So really, I want the bottom of this to sit flush with the, well, as low as possible, really. Yeah. So remember, guys, this is just a prototype. It's still higher than what this bulge is underneath. And I think, actually, guys, it's sitting a little bit too low. When the body's on there, it's still higher up than the centre part of the chassis. Because remember, we're going to cut this part here out. But it just looks to be hanging a little bit low. And on the other side, the rock slide is actually level with the top here. And it is a bit of a compromise to get low centre of gravity and to get ground clearance. I think I'm going to move it up a little bit, guys, to be honest. But I'm going to go with that, guys. I'm going to bolt it on like that. If it turns out to be too low, we can always make up some new mounts and just raise it all up. But for now, I'm just going to stick it on like that. Alright, we're all screwed on. Alright, glue gun's warmed up. I've cleaned up the surfaces. I've already marked where I want to put it. I will try and put a screw through this, guys. I really do want to get a screw through it, guys, but there's just no room. Alright, see if it works. Alright, so it all seems to be working. These servos here, I did have to reverse them in the app because they were going the opposite way to the Traxxas ones, but that was easy. What do I still have to do? I need to free up this cable here, and I need to sort this servo out here. Oh, that's getting warm. A tiny little bit heavy on the battery side, but not by a massive amount. Alright, let's have a little look what's inside this twitchy gear shift servo. Not much going on in the gear side of things. Probably shouldn't be working on this while it's plugged in still. So much for waterproof, eh? Look at the state of that. Completely and utterly corroded in there. I mean, I say on the kit that these are waterproof, but really splash proof at best. I mean, the water's still going to get in there. If you completely submerge it, it's going to find its way into bearings and servos and everything, really. So that is the price you pay for playing in water. I've found another little Traxxas mini servo, so I can replace it. Alright, got it all installed. And it works. Alright, so just as a temporary measure, I've screwed this receiver box on top of here, and I've actually put a longer screw through this screw here and screwed it into the existing hole, what used to hold on the battery tray. I mean, it's all quite prototypey at the moment. I'm just sort of testing the concept. That is why it's not so neat. If I'm happy with it, I might redo it or make it all super duper neat and fancy and everything. But for now, I just want to see if it all works properly. Doesn't look too bad. I mean, there's only one screw holding it on. So if I decide to keep it there, I'll probably make another mount that comes across here or something, just to support it. But that's pretty good. I've got an extension lead in here only because I'm having issues with the steering servos. And it's easier just to unplug it from here when I'm changing servos than it is to keep going into here. So eventually, once I've sorted out the steering issues, I'll be plugging it back in properly. But for now, that's just going to stay like that. So now, the only thing that I've got to fix is the rear diff lock. Alright, so far, the only drawback I can see is, look, it's gone floppy. The actual chassis is easy to sort of twist it just for your bare hand. So I'm sort of thinking, if you crash it, it might actually bend and stay bent. So what I'm probably going to do is put a battery tray back in here, but leave this one on the side here as well. You know, keep that in there just for the rigidity. And then you've also got two options. You can put the battery in there and you can put the battery down there. And then you've got the best of both worlds. Or you could run like 2 batteries for like even longer run time. I don't know. This gives us more options and it's going to take that flex away. But I'm going to run it like this for now. I'm going to fix this rear diff now. Then we're going to take it out and give it a little blast. You know, it's flush with the bottom of the chassis. This bottom part here is actually even higher. So it's more likely to grind out on this. Using a ball-ended Allen key here. And the reason for that is because to get these screws out of here, you have to come in at a bit of an angle. I mean, I'll probably be better off to take this axle off. But I'm being lazy. Ew. I think it must have got wet in there at one point. Looks like it's all dried out. Yeah, it's manky in there, guys. Yeah, diff lock has actually jammed. So next, to pull the diff out, we actually have to remove these portal boxes. Yeah, there we go. These bearings are rough, guys. That's definitely overdue a rebuild. Look at the state of all that, look. So here's how the diff lock works. So like this, it's just a normal diff. And as you can see, it can spin at different speeds. Well, both axles can spin at a different independently to each other. But this thing here slides over that pin and it locks up with these little dog teeth in there, and that locks it together. See, so now that's actually working quite freely. I'm going to grease it all up again, give it a clean up, give it a grease up. I'm not going to go too much to town with it because it does need a rebuild. And this is just brake cleaner. I quite like using this stuff because it's a good degreaser. But you've got to be careful because apparently some brands does attack plastic. This particular one here doesn't. So if you're using a different brand brake cleaner to this one, make sure first that it doesn't eat your plastic. Ooh, look. One of the dog teeth have actually snapped off. And that probably happens when you put the diff locks in while you're going along. Ah, there it is. Maybe that's why it was jammed up, because it had a broken tooth in there. So I will replace this. For now, I'm going to put it back together how it was. I mean, I think that should probably work now. Alright, so next I've just got to free up this cable. It's a little bit sticky. Just got it in this solution here, the brake fluid. I'm just moving that in and out until it goes free. It's probably just got dirt and stuff's got in now over time. That is freeing up. So I'm just going to put a little drop of oil down there. I'm not sure if that's actually going to help or not. I mean, it is going to definitely lubricate it, but it might make dirt more likely to stick to it, and it's going to make it worse. So I'm just going to experiment. I'm going to put a bit on this and see how long it stays free for. I mean, I'm not going to waste too much time on these bearings, guys, because as I said, it does need a full rebuild anyway. Ah, look at that, guys. Moves so easily now. I'll chuck a little bit more grease just around this mechanism, just to make sure it stays nice and free. Bit of grease in here, and guys, it's looking promising. It should work. Beautiful. Alright, so diff locked, diff open. Alright, and last but not least, I want to cut this bottom bit off here. It's only going to get hung up on there. Oh. Oh, damn it. Ooh, that's gone floppy now. Alright, so those cutting discs are definitely not made for plastic. I tell you what, guys, by heart I'm a metal worker. I'm not a wood worker, I'm not a plastic worker. I normally end up trying to use metalwork tools to work on other materials, and it doesn't really work. That's definitely going to need some bracing somewhere, guys. I mean, it'll be alright for today just to take it out and give it like a little go. But long term, that's definitely going to need stiffening up. And I'm not sure, this might be, I might even end up making some different trays myself out of metal, because, I don't know, it does get close to the battery box there. So we'll see how that goes. If it keeps getting caught on there, I'll tell you what I will need to do, is extend the Esc wires, because they are pretty tight. Front diff locked, yes. All diffs locked, yes. So guys, it's all working. Alright, so there she is, all mounted up. So as you can see, if you can see that battery tray here, the bottom of the chassis is still lower than the battery. But I barely notices that there's a battery even there, guys. See, this is the other side. So far, guys, that feels a lot better. Definitely feels a lot more stable. That's just played about with it in there. It definitely feels a million times better with the weight lowered down. I mean, we're going to take it out later on today, give it a little blast in the real world and see how it really performs. Ian's got one of these, and it's almost identical spec. It's got the same wheels. I think it's running different tyres, but apart from that, it's pretty much identical. It's got a different body. It's got a Dodge body on there. If you watch one of the last videos where we had it out in the woods, you'll see the truck that he was running. So it'd be nice to compare it and just see how the stock battery position compares to the modified one. I'm quite optimistic. I quite like it. So guys, I hope you liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, smash the bell button to stay notified. Remember guys, this is just a prototype. I'm just messing about with it. I'm just testing. That's what this hobby's all about. It's having fun, trying new things, seeing what works, seeing what doesn't. I mean, it doesn't have to be perfect. I mean, I'm not a perfectionist by no means. And even though it is nice to have things perfect, I mean, I'm human, and humans, they're just not perfect, are they? And if you try and live a perfectionist life, I used to be quite perfected with certain things, and it just sort of gets you feeling all uneasy. So I find it a lot easier just to get things to work, but not be 100% perfect, and just to improve on things as time goes on. Alright guys, see you soon, bye.